And when that goes...
But
we see it, and
we
the
entertained the
intellectual stuff. We've actually got footage of Carl entertaining the troops in East Timor.
Crazy.
Here's a booth for that's basically, I should just say, that's it for me tonight. That's
This 10 News Update is brought to you by Renault.
Up next, blushing and denials. The Prime Minister under fire over those false claims that asylum seekers threw their children overboard. Chilling video, teenage killer, a young man gunned down at a suburban cinema complex. The man who claims he was sleepwalking when he allegedly sexually assaulted 3 women. Also, American journalist David Pearl kidnapped in Pakistan, believed...
Oh, and enjoy your holiday.
G'day, I'm Todd Landers, one of the kids from Neighbours. And this is a great new Neighbours calendar on sale right now from Hungry Jack's. It's only $1.95. Now you can have a photo of your favourite neighbours all year round. There's Henry, Scott and Charlotte, Paul and Gail, and Mrs. Mangle, Des, Helen, even Grumpy Harold. There's a picture of me and my little sister. All the proceeds from the calendar will be donated by Hungry Jack's, the cast of Neighbours and Channel 10 to the Australian Deafness Council. Stocks are limited, so get your Neighbours calendar from Hungry Jack's right now.
My husband.
Monday night.
You're wearing a white dress. You're carrying a suitcase. Now, either you are a bride-to-be or a visiting nurse.
Nana is determined to elope with a caveman.
Is there any special music that you would like played at your wedding?
Yeah, Lola by the Kinks.
At 7:30, Family Ties, followed by Alf.
Didn't you learn about electronic music on Melmac?
Ancient history wasn't my best subject.
And our lovable aliens looking for a chartbuster. What an hour of comedy from Monday, 7:30 on 7. Airlines on 7.
The Holden Motor Company presents the Great Chimera Runout.
This is one of my personal favorites.
Brand new Chimera sedans and wagons at prices that are 12 months old.
Now, isn't that something?
Thrill to brand new Chimeras at prices that are 12 months old. Put the bite on your Holden dealer today.
Now watch for the brilliant train crash.
Be there or be square.
Don't you just love it?
The Great Chimera Runout defies inflation. Now playing at a Holden dealer near you.
You mustn't miss it.
If you've ever been...
Growing up, life's just one big hassle. Oh, Wayne! There's the hassle with your face. Oh, no. The hassle with your figure. And every month, that one you don't talk about. But that one's less of a hassle with Tampax applicator tampons. Only Tampax tampons have a hygienic applicator to make using the tampon easier and cleaner. And because the Tampax applicator makes it easier, it really is the no-hassles tampon. Life's simply less of a hassle with Tampax.
Okay, up there.
Treasure hunt, okay?
Come on.
Hello again. President Reagan and his aides are tonight trying to salvage what they can following the release of the Tower Commission report.
The report on the Iran-Contra affair was scathing in its findings and indicates that the president is out of touch. To the local political scene now, and the National Party of Victoria finally makes its choice of a candidate to contest the Central Highlands by-election. And the rural crisis highlighted by the tearful eviction of a young farmer, his wife and family.
Full details of those stories coming up tonight in Newsworld.
Have you thought how our bodies cope with the changing times? Synthetics, tight clothes and stress all affect how fresh we feel. Yet some of our ideas on everyday body freshness are a little old-fashioned. Which is why we should change our minds and make new Carefree Panty Shields a part of getting dressed. You won't feel you're wearing Carefree Panty Shields, but you will feel much fresher. Make every day a Carefree day with new Carefree Panty Shields.
You might be young and healthy, but
but the unexpected can happen. So, HBA have introduced this. HBA single system, the right level of private health cover. Plus lots of special offers throughout the year. See, I told you, the unexpected can happen. Join me in HBA's single system. It's the health cover you'll feel good about.
Join now. There are Queensland holidays to be won.
These lovely ladies have made it.
I reckon that Fitzroy would be pretty pleased with Kepler's form tonight too.
Played well, hasn't he? Especially in the first half. De Rui arguably grabbed a little bit too high. Not too much arguably about.
Wednesday night, 7 proudly presents the 1987 Grammy Awards. A night for the best in the business to collect the rewards of a tough, jam-packed with hits year of music. The stars, their songs, the records of the year. This is the one that counts. Direct from LA, an exclusive experience of sight and sound. The 1987 Grammy Awards, Wednesday, 8:30 on 7.
Because
Dusting, 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 dustings of Burwood is the place to buy your Holden. Dustings of Burwood for an opportunity golden. You'll know how a king would feel when you get that royal Holden deal from Dustings of Burwood.
A lot has changed since we sold our first Holden in 1948. Sophisticated engine development, computer technology, and the wide range of models to choose from. But one thing has stayed the same. The satisfaction you get when you buy your new or used Holden from Dustings.
To get a royal deal from Dustings of Burwood.
Still the place to buy your Holden.
Next week, crooners, croakers, dancers and jokers.
I used to wear a tutu, except then I put on a bit of weight and then it became a 3-3.
Wacky musicians, magicians and ruthless celebrity judges.
Just some of the contestants that didn't make it through the have-a-go auditions.
Old or small, short or tall. Everyday Australians in a brand new show with those big, bad and bold boys of humour who are hungry for people to have a go.
I've got to lay off that Mexican food.
Weeknights.
Elizabeth Richards reminding me to have a go.
At 6 on 7.
So Carlton leading at every change and finally running out winners 9-10-64 to 8-5-53. A margin of 13 points. The goal kickers for Carlton, 3 to Ogier, 2 to Sartori. They were the major ones. And singles to Mackenzie, Nailey, Johnston and Motley. And for Fitzroy, Kepler got 3. Singles to Gale, Conlon and Clayton. Richard Osborne also kicked 2 goals. Time, gentlemen, for our discussion on the Best Player Award. Lou Richards and Don Scott, how did you see it?
You're privileged, Don.
Well, I thought Johnson, I went for Johnson as being the best player because I thought he at least put in 3/4 of the game. A lot of players, and it was very hard to play consistently. Kepler, I thought, did well, particularly early. Thornton battled very hard for Fitzroy, and I liked the form of Sartori and Silvani early on in the game. But the game wasn't conducive. The weather conditions weren't conducive for players to play outstandings game. They really had to get in and graft for the ball, and I thought Johnson's effort in grafting for the ball, especially under Pax, was particularly commendable.
I must go along with Don. Johnson was my best player. He played a fine game, a captain's game, set a big example to his teammates, and they followed suit, of course. Full marks to Fitzroy. They looked in a hopeless position about halfway through that last quarter, Don, I think you'll agree, but they kept on plugging away. A couple of fellas impressed me tonight. That was young Kepler on the wing. Looks as though he's going to be a real player. And, of course, when he came on in that third quarter, young Gale put everything into his game and looked to play. And, of course, Motley looks as if he's off to a great season, and so is Silvani. I go along with Silvani.
Also, Nali showed quite a bit,
yes.
I thought, Lou, when he did get the ball. He just showed he's got that little bit of class.
And I think you'll go along, too. You were pretty impressed by the comment on Sartori, weren't you?
So, Johnston, our best player
yes,
for the night.
Yes,
right. It's pretty well a unanimous decision that Wayne Johnston, the acting captain for Carlton tonight, wins the National Panasonic Award, and we'll be back after this break with the presentation.
The same choice small leaf flavour you get with Lamb Chew leaf tea, you also get with every Lamb Chew tea bag. So for a perfect cup of tea, it's your choice of our choice small leaf tea. Shouldn't you, Lamb Chew?
Who
good deal more for your trade-in.
Brian would.
Everything okay? And who'd give you the best Toyota service?
Brian would.
Who'd give you the best used car deal in town?
Brian.
Fleet deals like nobody else can. Brian Wood.
Brian Wood.
Brian Wood Toyota.
In Victoria, there's one organisation spending $25 million a year cutting and felling trees. One organisation who cut trees to save our forests. Because after Ash Wednesday, we all know that trees and power lines don't mix. That organisation, the SEC, working towards a fire-safe Victoria.
General Clement's coming. Tonight sees the unveiling of the most remarkable weapon against rubbish ever devised. The miniskip. Sergeant?
Men, the miniskip is 2 cubic metres. That's 4 times the size of one of these and 1/4 the size of one of these. It holds any kind of solid rubbish and it's darn cheap.
All together, men.
4175000. 4175000. Mini skips!
For your next general clean-up.
John Voight, Jane Fonda, their Oscar-winning love story.
I spent
30 on 7.
Carlton winning the match tonight by 11 points, and Wayne Johnston, the acting captain for the Blues, judged best man on the ground to receive the National Panasonic Award. Let's go down now to the Carlton dressing room and Scott Palmer.
Thanks, Peter. Yes, there's many happy faces down here tonight. The Blues, Wayne, they started off the season with a big win.
Well, it's nice to win one, Scotty. I think our last 3 encounters, whether they be in the VFL round or overseas, we've lost the last 3 games, so it was pretty important to get one on the board.
You perhaps like the captaincy, Wayne, but this year's is already gone. You put all your captaincy tricks to work tonight.
Mate, I've got a perfect record as a caretaker captain, and it's probably better if I keep it that way. To leave the full-time stuff to the big fellas.
Well, what about Stephen Kernahan, who takes over the role as skipper of the Blues this year? How do you see his role?
Oh, mate, they're the senior players, and we've got to set a fine example for the younger fellas. But don't get me wrong, the young fellas are doing a great job.
Well, Wayne, tonight you win the National Panasonic Compact Disc Player. The kids at home, Mark and Ellie, will have a wonderful time playing with that.
I'd like to thank National Panasonic. All these awards are very gratifying, and I hope they continue their sponsorship throughout the years.
Thanks very much, Wayne.
Thanks.
Scott Palmer presenting the National Panasonic Compact Disc Player. I believe they're fantastic to Wayne Johnston, the acting captain tonight for Carlton. He's got a 100% record, as he said, in an acting captaincy role. Don Scott, how did you see the game? It was only a few points in it at the end, but Carlton overall too strong.
Yes, they were, Peter, and before the game started, I picked Fitzroy because of the fact that on paper they looked a much better side. They had 11 players out of their premiership side from last year, had a very young side in. They were weakened by the absence of Dorotich, Elvin, and also Hunter out of the originally named squad. And this type of thing, as we see on screen here, was on all night. Early on the game, you could appreciate it because players on both sides were very intent on winning the ball, and being the first match of the game, first match of the season, their enthusiasm is pretty high. But Carlton certainly went about their job in a very workmanlike manner. At centre-half forward, they had Satori, and Satori played a very good first half. He was in front of Roos, and it's not often that Roos has his colours lowered, and he had it lowered tonight, and he was forced to be moved up to the forward line just before half-time. He got back into the game later on in the game, especially in the later part of the second half, but it was a little bit late there. Fitzroy were just undermanned, I thought, as far as the Endeavour side of it was concerned. They were always running with the ball. They weren't going in at the ball, and David Parkin said earlier they've got to run, but maybe they should have got a little bit more in front, because the Carlton backmen certainly got in front, attacked the ball, their forwards did. And